4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Oh, 7 Commanders? Well, that's a phrase I haven't said for a while. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've used that opening, hasn't it? So, I had planned another Elite Dangerous video to do, which I have written, and unfortunately FDEV have kind of really made me have to do another video instead, and I feel like this is actually a more important one to get out. So I had no idea this actually had happened. To be quite honest, I've not really been following Elite Dangerous for a while now, other than watching Down to Earth Astronomy, Obsidian Ant and Commander Burr's content occasionally. However, it was posted on my Discord that Obsidian Ant had released a video detailing that FDEV had basically given up on the idea of fixing the broken planet tech in Odyssey. A move which came as a surprise on one hand, but was completely expected on the other. As some of you know, I have a really low opinion of FDEV, so that's kind of why I wasn't terribly surprised. So on the surprised end, this was mainly caused by them actually admitting they have no intention of fixing this. It's too much like hard work and a resource drain, apparently. And on the expected end, this is because, well, quite frankly, I already thought they couldn't give two shits about the game or the player base in the first place. This was highlighted by the sheer abandonment of the console players, and just the abandonment of putting Odyssey onto consoles, and going further actually and saying we're not even going to maintain Horizons anymore. From a business end, I agree it was the smart move, something I touched on in my next Elite Dangerous video, but it still sucks to see any section of the player base being put out to pasture because they knowingly rushed out a broken as hell expansion in nothing more than a cash grab. I'm still salty as all hell about that. So, this latest revelation came from one of the community managers, Bruce, and reads as follows. Greetings, Commanders. We'd like to take this opportunity to address the tiling planetary features issue from the issue tracker. After spending some time to observe the effects of the issue while weighing up the cost to resolve it, we've decided to focus the resources elsewhere. Reducing or preventing the tiling effect would require a deep overhaul of fundamental systems, which in turn would disrupt other aspects of the game. This would inevitably take time away from developing and improving other elements such as performance, bug fixes, and new content. We cannot justify this level of change and a regeneration of the Galaxy and Elite. This is unlikely to change in the future, so the issue will be closed, freeing up votes on the tracker for other issues. We'll continue to strive for the best possible experience for the highest number of players, which our current focus allows us to do. We hope you'll appreciate the reasoning behind this decision, 07. So let me translate that for you. After spending some time to observe the effects of the issue while weighing up the cost to resolve it, we decided to focus those resources elsewhere. Basically, we're not willing to throw money at this. Reducing or preventing the tiling effect would require a deep overhaul of fundamental systems, which in turn would disrupt other aspects of the game. Completely agree. This would inevitably take time away from developing and improving other elements such as performance, bug fixes, and new content. In other words, this would take time away from giving you the game as it should have been at launch. That's exactly what they're saying. They're trying to get the game up to how it should have been when they launched it. I can't believe how angry I still am at FDEV about the way they launched Odyssey. I didn't realise I was still this angry until I started shooting this video. Anyway, so with that, what do I think this really means for Elite and its future? Well, it's not good, that's for sure. To me, I've always thought that big parts of Odyssey was outsourced to companies like Tencent, a company that actually owns a small part of FDEV if you weren't aware. I very much think that they designed the UI, as it was clearly designed with the mobile game view in mind, something that Tencent does a lot and does it well, just not in this case. And I think other companies were involved in other aspects of the game as well. With this in mind, I don't believe that FDEV have the time to strip the planetary tech back and rewrite the code, so rather than even try, they're just giving up. They do have the time and the resources, they're just not willing to put it into this game anymore. I believe that this shows that FDEV has basically given up all hope for Elite Dangerous, really, when you actually look into what else is being said. And this is just the beginning of the pullback of his support, and I think it might be put on life support at some point over the next year or two. I know they're promising more content and everything else, I just don't think they'll deliver. They've promised too much in the past and never delivered. To me, this planet tech is one of the worst aspects of Odyssey. It's jarring, the level of popping you get, and just when you fly down, the texture just changes, and then actually when you run across the planet, the texture changes under your feet as well. The FPS drops that still occur when you're even just looking at a planet, never mind when you're like flying down to it or when you're running around on one. Now, we know this post is purely about the tiling effect, but I firmly believe that the issues that I've mentioned here are also tied in with that. To fix the tiling effect would mean to fix the whole planet tech. And to not even try to fix this shows the pure lack of love and care they now have for the game. And more importantly, the player base as a whole. This post was basically a shut up and stop asking post. Not worded like that, don't get me wrong, I'm not attacking the wording of the post or anything. But they clearly want this put to bed, and they want people to stop asking. This is such a shame in my opinion, because Elite Dangerous Horizons is one of my favourite games of all time. I put nearly 1,000 hours into Horizons alone. And to see the game on its knees, and maybe even its deathbed in all honesty, is very upsetting. But to see the company that has plenty of resources to fix this broken POS just say, we can't be bothered. It's infuriating. I used to bash FDEV a lot on this channel. It was something I was actually kind of known for, unfortunately. And even when I called how the launch of Odyssey would go, and got a lot of abuse for it, might I say, I always hoped they would pull through and do the right thing by the player base and fix the game. And clearly, they haven't, or maybe never even had the intention of making things right. They promised more transparent communication. That lasted all of a few weeks, and then they gave up on that as well. They promised that they were going to get things right and make things good, and the game would be fantastic, and more content would come and everything else. I haven't really seen any additional content come to the game so far. I still log in occasionally, and the game is still broken. Elite Dangerous Odyssey has been out for nearly 1 year now. 1 year. And I still log in from time to time to see what's changed. And let me tell you this. 11 updates, yes, that's right, 11 updates later, and Elite Dangerous Odyssey is just as fucking terrible as it always has been. I have people from time to time ask me if now is a good time to buy Odyssey, especially when it was down on sale on Steam recently for £13. And my answer has always been the same. If you really feel the need to get rid of some of your money, burn it. Because that would be a better use of that money than this piece of shit expansion. Even at £13, it's too much. So I think it's clear what I think the future holds for Elite Dangerous, and that is that it will slowly die a death as the company pulls back more and more resources, and the player base eventually just get fed up of FDEV not fixing the game and leave for other, and quite frankly, better games. Whenever I play Elite Dangerous now and in the future, I do and will continue to just play Horizons. And you should too, in my opinion, as it's the last good version of the game I think we will ever see, as I really believe Odyssey will be the last expansion that FDEV releases for Elite Dangerous. Finally, they're being seen for what they are, a company that continuously makes promises and fails to deliver on the majority of them, because they never had any intention of doing so. I have a very low opinion of FDEV, and I set the bar very low with things that they're going to do, and they even fail to meet that. So, join me in raising a glass to the memory of Elite Dangerous. Rest in peace, old friend. You lived a good life, but sadly, the company that made you is also killing you. Your only hope now is that another company comes in and buys the IP and does you justice. And sadly, I just cannot see that happening. So there we have it, folks. Not the video I wanted to release about Elite. The next one is actually more positive, I promise. Feels like a line I used to say a lot on this channel. Honestly, the next video is positive. The next video is actually positive. I'm going to be covering whether you should play Elite Dangerous Horizons on console, because obviously you have to have a pulled support for that now. And actually it is a positive video. So until next time, you fine commanders. I've been Just Dave, reminding you all to stay elite and stay dangerous.